The rusted gates groaned, a warning. We were entering a place time forgot. Overgrown weeds clawed at our legs, trying to pull us back from the darkness. The asylum loomed before us, a skeletal silhouette against the dying light. Broken windows stared like empty eyes. This was once a place of healing, now a breeding ground for fear. Whispers followed us on the wind, stories of patients driven mad within these walls. They spoke of a doctor, cruel and experimental, who vanished without a trace. Some say his spirit still lingers, seeking his lost patients. Our footsteps echoed in the cavernous halls, each one a drumbeat of dread. The air was thick with the smell of decay and the weight of forgotten suffering. Shadows danced at the edge of our vision, playing tricks on our minds. Or were they? We stumbled upon a room untouched by time. A solitary chair sat in the centre, facing a wall scrawled with frantic messages. The words spoke of shadows, of unseen tormentors. A chill ran down my spine, the hair on my arms standing on end. This place held onto its secrets with an iron grip. The writing on the wall was chaotic, almost as if the person who wrote it was in a state of sheer panic. Words overlapped, sentences were incomplete, and some parts were barely legible. It was clear that whoever had been here had experienced something truly horrifying. The messages spoke of shadows that moved on their own, of whispers that echoed through the halls, and of eyes that watched from the darkness. As we looked around the room, we noticed more signs of distress. Broken furniture lay scattered across the floor, and papers were strewn about, some with more frantic scribbles. It was as if the room itself had witnessed countless moments of fear and desperation. The air was thick with a sense of unease, and every creak of the floorboards seemed to echo with the ghosts of the past. Among the scattered papers, we found a dusty old photograph. It was faded and worn, but we could make out the faces of a group of people, perhaps the former inhabitants of this place. Their expressions were a mix of hope and despair, a stark contrast to the current state of the room. It made us wonder what had happened to them, what had driven them to such madness. The atmosphere in the room was oppressive, as if the very walls were closing in on us. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional drip of water from a leaky pipe. It felt like the room was alive, watching us, waiting for us to uncover its darkest secrets. We couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone, that something unseen was lurking just beyond the shadows. The solitary chair in the centre of the room seemed to hold a special significance. It was positioned perfectly to face the wall, as if whoever sat there was forced to confront the messages scrawled upon it. The chair itself was old and worn, its wood creaking under the weight of countless memories. It was a silent witness to the torment that had unfolded in this room. As we left the room, the sense of unease lingered. The asylum had many more secrets to reveal, and we knew that this was just the beginning. The grim discovery we had made was a stark reminder of the darkness that can reside within the human mind, and the lengths to which it can drive us. We steeled ourselves for what lay ahead, knowing that the journey through this forsaken place would test our courage and our sanity. The weight of the suffering within these walls was palpable. Every chipped paint, every rusted bed frame whispered tales of despair. It was as if the building itself was trying to tell us its story, a story of unimaginable pain and sorrow. A cold spot settled over us in one of the padded rooms. The temperature dropped, and we felt a presence. Something was watching us, its eyes boring into our souls. The air crackled with unseen energy. Fear, primal and raw, pulsed through my veins. A guttural growl echoed from the depths of the asylum. We froze, our blood turning to ice. The growl morphed into a blood-curdling scream, bouncing off the walls and clawing at our sanity. Our hearts pounded in our chests. We were not alone. We pressed on, drawn deeper into the darkness. Room 13. The legend spoke of a patient, driven mad by his own demons. He was said to have ripped apart the walls with his bare hands, his screams echoing for weeks. The room was empty now, but the air hung heavy with his rage. As we approached the door, a chill ran down our spines. The hallway seemed to stretch endlessly, each step echoing louder than the last. The flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, making it feel as though we were being watched. The legend of Room 13 was not just a story, it was a haunting reality that had left its mark on this forsaken place. The patient, whose name was lost to time, had been admitted to the asylum many years ago. He was a man of great intellect, but plagued by visions and voices that no one else could hear. The doctors tried everything to cure him, but nothing worked. His condition worsened, and soon he was confined to room 13, isolated from the rest of the world. It was in this room that his madness reached its peak. He would spend hours scratching at the walls, muttering to himself and screaming in agony. The other patients and staff could hear his tormented cries, but no one dared to enter. They said that the very walls of room 13 absorbed his pain and suffering, and that his spirit still lingered there, trapped in an eternal torment. As we stood at the threshold, we could feel the weight of his anguish pressing down on us. The air was thick with a sense of dread, and it was as if the room itself was alive, pulsating with a dark energy. We hesitated, knowing that once we crossed that line, there would be no turning back. With a deep breath, we pushed open the door. The room was just as the legend described. The walls were torn and battered, the furniture broken and scattered. But it was the silence that was most unnerving. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a silence that seemed to scream of the horrors that had taken place within these walls. We stepped inside and the door creaked shut behind us. The temperature dropped and we could see our breath in the cold, stale air. Every corner of the room seemed to hold a secret, every shadow a whisper of the past. We knew we were not alone. The legend of Room 13 was very much alive, and we were about to uncover its darkest secrets. As we left the asylum, the setting sun cast long, eerie shadows behind us. We had glimpsed the darkness that lingered within those walls, felt the despair that clung to every brick and mortar. But some questions remained unanswered, some mysteries unsolved. The experience left an indelible mark on our souls. It was a chilling reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the enduring power of fear. As we drove away, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched, that the asylum and its secrets were not yet done with us. The night was dark, and the moon cast an eerie glow over the dilapidated structure. The wind howled through the broken windows, creating an unsettling symphony that seemed to echo the cries of the tormented souls that once inhabited the place. We had ventured into the asylum on a dare, seeking thrills and the adrenaline rush that comes with exploring the unknown. But what we found was far more than we had bargained for. The walls were covered in graffiti, remnants of past visitors who had also sought to uncover the mysteries within. But beneath the layers of paint and dust, there was a palpable sense of despair, a lingering sadness that seemed to seep into our very bones. As we walked through the darkened hallways, our flashlights flickering, we could almost hear the whispers of the past. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and every creak of the floorboard sent shivers down our spines. We stumbled upon old medical equipment, rusted and decayed. a haunting reminder of the treatments that were once administered here. The asylum was a place of suffering, a place where the line between sanity and madness was blurred. The deeper we ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. It was as if the building itself was alive, watching us, waiting for the right moment to reveal its darkest secrets. We found an old journal, its pages yellowed with age, detailing the experiences of a former patient. The entries were filled with anguish and confusion, a testament to the horrors that had taken place within these walls. As we finally made our way out, the weight of the experience hung heavy on our shoulders. The asylum had left its mark on us, a haunting reminder of the fragility of the human mind and the enduring power of fear. Even as we drove away, the feeling of being watched persisted, a chilling reminder that some places are never truly abandoned and some secrets are never fully laid to rest.